Today, we are privileged to recognize Dr. Talitha Washington, Director of the Atlantic University Center Data Science Initiative.
One thing I love about data science is that all fields use data. All jobs nowadays use data and technology. And so the challenge is, how can we harness the data so we can use it for social good? At UConn, they took a chance on me and they let me come and thrive and really kind of be challenged in this atmosphere.
I'm so excited to have Dr. Talitha Washington back to Source Campus. You earned Master and Ph.D. from us, and you're going to get honorary doctorate degree, so welcome.
Thank you, thank you. It's great to be here and great to be back home in Stores.
And we have beautiful weather for you. So.
It's gorgeous outside.
You work in mathematics field as a scholar and as a data scientist and as educator and advocate for students, and groundbreaking work has been amazing. So your field is in applied mathematics, and what did draw you to math?
I like to explore and learn new things, and the way in which I do that is through mathematics. I remember way back as an undergrad when I was at Spelman College, I went to a talk where a person was describing how they could look at heart and heart health by using mathematics and just investigating with that tool. And I found it fascinating that we could uncover new biological phenomenon with mathematics as the tool, not necessarily in the lab, because I'm way too clumsy for laboratory work, also not a good driver either, but I really enjoy thinking, the logical thinking, quantitative reasoning, computational work, and just trying to figure things out. It's almost like a detective of sorts.
So it's not like math as a number. So for people who are unfamiliar, can you explain us what is that applied mathematics?
Well, I like to think of mathematics as a way in which we can think about things. So in my way of thinking is more like a systems approach. I like to see how different entities interact and how they influence each other or how they repel each other. So I like to make sense of these by quantifying the interactions and then perhaps developing models to describe what would happen. We'd see this from weather models, be it good or bad or indifferent, where people make predictions on how the weather will be by quantifying either temperature, air pressure, wind gusts, that sort of thing.
So you had been the first African American woman in the mathematics graduate school, and we are striving so much to bring diversity to STEM field, women, people of color. So how did that experience shape you? How that influenced, where do you see diversity, and what is your approach to improve diversity in higher education?
Great question. My undergrad at Spelman was all African American female. And so when I went there, I was the norm. And then I came to the University of Connecticut. I literally got lost going around campus because the campus was so big. And then being the only African American female in the mathematics graduate program, that was it made me nervous, right? A little off-putting, because it's kind of like, where do I belong? But I could think back on my undergraduate days, and there were a lot of other African American female mathematicians that I had known that made it and were very successful, so I can lean on that. And then also when I came, Dr. Willina Kimpson-Price, who just retired last year, she was over the African American Cultural Center, which was my home when I came to UConn. And of course, she's my Spelman sister, so I had that direct, sort of underground railroad approach to coming to UConn. So I was able to find my community, develop it. And as a graduate student, I was known as the free food connection. So I knew where all the free food was on campus, and I would email everybody on our green computers, because they were all green and yellow back in the day. So I would email everybody and say, oh, there's free food over here, and we would all kind of huddle and go there. But really, I was able to make different communities here at UConn, and it was really a good, fun experience. It was hard. Don't get me wrong, the qualifying exams, it's no joke. The work was very hard, and I studied a lot. And I also had other colleagues, other classmates around me that really formed an academic community where I could thrive and I can lean on them and vice versa.
I think you arrive at a good time. I think Elena is a perfect role model. She's like icon. She's passionate, she's educator, she's a fashionista, she's really somebody who is a true trooper. So I think it was good time to have her and mentor. But after UConn, you moved to a number of universities where you held faculty positions, and you became the National Science Foundation director. So tell us how that all experiences shaped you and what that meant for you to be a faculty, to be director of NSF, and what did you strive for?
Well, initially, I'm not sure if I really strive for anything. So as a graduate student, my advisor, God love him, Dr. Youngzi Choi, he said, when I was doing my dissertation work, I said, do I have enough to get out? And he would say, come back later. I said, do I have enough? He would always tell me to come back. And I said, and I remember coming to him and said, if I apply for postdocs, they're due in a week. And he said, okay, you can graduate if you get a postdoc. Oh. so I applied and reached out to a person at Duke University, Mike Reed, and say, hi, you want a postdoc? He worked in mathematical biology. I was able to get the postdoc, and I was like, Dr. Choi, I have a postdoc, I can go now, right? He's like, yes. So, but I think without that really coaching and narrow guidance, maybe I'll call it, I don't think I would be here today, because I think that really helped me go into a direction of research to have that nice, solid mathematical foundation, both on the PhD side and the postdoc side, where I can strengthen that research base. And then fast forward to National Science Foundation, I remember when I started there, a colleague of mine and I, got there, we said, what are we supposed to do? What are we doing? It was like going to grad school all over again. We were lost, and we were like, okay, we think we're supposed to do something. What's our work? What's our job? But I found myself just diving in and just reading and learning and doing. And then in that first year, I was instrumental in building their first Hispanic Serving Institutions program at the National Science Foundation that looked to strengthen undergraduate STEM education across all Hispanic serving institutions.
So did you have mentor at National Science Foundation, or you have to figure it out yourself?
Oh, I have lots of mentors.
Okay, that's good.
It takes a village to raise me, and vice versa. And that's one of the things I've really been blessed with, that I have colleagues around that really will give me some raw advice, both solicited and unsolicited, and vice versa. I remember at NSF, there was this guy named Barry. He would say, we're going to have STEM Summit. And when I was new, I would go to my friend Karen and say, Karen, what is a STEM Summit? And she said, I don't know, maybe it's important. We found out it was the happy hour across the street. But that's where we really were able to bond as colleagues and really get to know each other outside of the office, which really made for a fun work environment there. And to be able to serve in that way in STEM and providing new opportunities for institutions and also researchers to build their enterprise, it's really amazing.
So, Dr. Washington, in 2020, you became the inaugural director of Atlanta University Center for Consortium for Data Science Initiative. It's mouthful.
It is.
So tell us about the initiative, mission, and the work that you perform there.
So the Atlanta University Center Data Science Initiative, we work across Clark Atlanta University, Morehouse College, Morehouse School of Medicine, and Spelman College, and all things data science to build institutional capacity in both research and education. So we're that innovative space where we can bring people together so they can do this thing of data science, either build new research or build new curriculum or just build new programs, ways to interact and engage. And we have a focus on developing data science that's grounded in ethics, that looks to, you can't totally eliminate bias, but looks to minimize bias and really be an asset to African American communities and all communities. Because right now, according to the Harnham study, only about 3% of data science and analytics professionals are Black. And
oh, wow,
even though
that is so low.
That's pretty low. And we've seen the impacts of not having diverse people look at developing data science technology. Anywhere from predictive policing, where we misidentify faces because there are different hues or people of different races, to providing health innovative technologies that are built on data sets that don't take into account diverse populations. So we're looking to not only diversify the data science workforce, but also to bring new ideas and solutions to the data science research field itself.
I'm hearing the solution, I'm hearing innovative ideas, and I heard that your motto is I will find a way or make the one. So, you know, how do you apply that in your daily work with your students, with your colleagues? How do you inspire them to look all those challenges and find the ways? And when people say impossible, you are one, I'm sure, who is saying, yeah, it's possible, let's look harder. So.
Yes, definitely. Atlanta University, that is definitely our model. I'll find a way or make one. When I started as director, working across 4 different institutions, 4 historically black colleges and universities in Atlanta with their own presidents, own board of trustees, their own whatever, and bringing them together to do this thing of data science, it was completely new. It was a completely new idea. And it's been great just to build that up. And just the other day, one of our students who have went on to graduate school, she's getting a master's, she was texting me saying that it was hard, she doesn't have her community, I can't do this. And I just told her, I said, all the things you did before, all the wins you've had before and the successes, build on that. You can do that. Create your community, move forward, keep going. So I got to text her in a little while just to make sure she's okay. But it really is, sometimes we just hit that wall and we have to remind ourselves of some of the obstacles that we've came across in the past and just keep moving forward. And sometimes we have to make our community, sometimes we have to make the structure so that we can all thrive together.
Sometimes I hear from students, I was born and raised in this zip code and then, you know, I don't have a chance. And I always convince them that chance is your attitude, chance is your belief. And at UConn, we have over 24,000 undergraduates and first generation students, 8,000. So we have to mentor and teach them to believe, to build a confidence, and in order to change the society and make it a better place. So do you have advice for us as somebody who experienced and walked the walk? You know, what else do we have to do to, you know, to address the social justice, to move forward as a society, to be more inclusive and kind society, and to give opportunities to many?
Yeah, well, I was raised in the 47713 zip code in Evansville, Indiana, southwestern Indiana, which is a small Midwestern town right on the Ohio River. And no one would have known, right? I wasn't expected for me to go this far. And as you say, it's providing people that opportunity and the chance. When I applied to graduate schools, I got into one graduate school. Wow. So University of Connecticut took a chance on me. Thankfully. My GRE scores were terrible. Yeah. And studies now have shown that GRE scores really don't really do a justice in showing the academic aptitude of students. But UConn, they took a chance on me and they let me come and thrive and really kind of be challenged in this atmosphere. But I think really it's reminding students of the value that they bring, that life can be challenging, life can be hard, but to persevere it. And also to encourage people to have an open mind and be flexible, be agile. You know, one of my favorite sayings is, don't be so sure of something that you wouldn't take something better. So having that growth mindset and to understand that people come into the classroom, into the laboratory from different viewpoints, from different walks of life. And we never know if somebody's having that good day or that bad day. And just being flexible and being kind.
I'm glad we just didn't look the numbers and data, you know.
Thank goodness.
I'm glad we take the challenge and be something special in people and we give them the chance. And I'm so proud of neurodiversity and programs that we are doing at UConn because we all have different ways of learning. So how do we include more people to get education, to have a good jobs? So tell us, what do you think about the data science and what is the next of the data science and how we can better use the data science for creating the greatest society?
One thing I love about data science is that all fields use data. All jobs nowadays use data and technology, which means I get to interact with those in the health sciences, social workers, psychologists, mathematicians, computer scientists. Everybody is using data science in one form or another. And so the challenge is, how can we harness the data so we can use it for social good? So that is our challenge. Because, you know, from our Apple Watch to when we do our Google searches, when we get the advertisements, people are collecting data on us. And what do we do with that data? So there's a lot of still open questions about how we can move this forward. But I think there's some really interesting opportunities as we go forward. We're seeing ChatGPT and how we can use that to leverage things and not be too nervous about it. You know, we were nervous when TI-83 calculators came around, right? Now it's ChatGPT. But I think we'll find a way to make use of it and make positive use. So, and I think it's just a really interesting, fun time. And like I said, everybody uses data, and it's just a fun thing to do.
You are such a busy person. You're a mother of 3. You are achieving so many things, you know. So I have students all the time saying, how do you balance? How you balance professional life and how you balance being a mother? And I would like to learn from you, and if you can share with all of our students.
Well, you got to have that balanced life. I remember way back in the day in grad school, one of my classmates was like, you look a little stressed. I'm like, yeah, I'm stressed. She said, you should go take aerobics class. I said, okay. So I took an aerobics class, and then I actually took it for credit. I won't say that I made a B in that class. I can't believe it. Who makes a B in graduate school in aerobics? I did. But from then on, I used exercise as my hobby, exercise as a way to really just have fun. I'm also a certified Dance to Fit instructor.
Oh, wow.
So it's just fun. It's different. So it's good to have a balance of, there is work, but there's also some play in there that can be just as fun, challenging, and engaging. So it's just keeping that perspective and being thankful.
So I'm getting that you're not only a great mathematician, but also fun person to be around. Thank you so much. It's great to have you. Welcome back. We are honored to call you Huskies.
Thank you. It's great to be back
you.
home.
Thank you.